What's good? What's good? Welcome back to Bryce Reacts, man. We back with another one. Today we reacting, to Charlamagne the God being in denial, kind of even walking back some post 2024 takes and beef. Know, he's irrelevant. He's losing his relevancy. All them type of takes, and also in denial about who possibly is winning the war between Kendrick and Drake, and if there isn't even was a war, and it just was the battle that we should be judging. But with that being said, we're gonna hop right into it, man. Let's get it. Let's make sure.
I'm glad y'all are back.
Man, get out of here.
Let the meat riding begin.
We've been literally, I've been saying that for years. You're still Drake. All you did was lose a fucking rap battle, bro. Cut it out.
I don't know if you said that, man.
Yeah. That's all I said.
Yeah.
You lost a fuck.
We all know he said a little more than that. I don't think he might not have been as harsh as Joe Budden with like, I'm talking to a corpse, but like, he was a big part of throwing a lot of fuel on the fire post 2024. But when I say big, I say somewhat like, you know, the reasonable amount for Charlamagne. But to act like he wasn't saying anything at all, which he kind of hinting at right here, is kind of crazy.
Fucking rap battle.
No, it's all good, man.
Let it go.
We can all change our minds, don't I know?
Change my mind about what?
Yo, we can all change our minds about shit that happened.
And this is what I like to say too. It's like maybe you didn't say nothing, but it sure feel like you did. And I know feelings is subjective, all that stuff, but even his co-host is just like, I call bullshit. And maybe that's for some behind the scenes stuff, but I think we all know how Charlamagne was hating on a certain level for sure.
What?
Man, it's all good.
Still fucking Drake. You lost the rap battle. All Drake wanted was y'all to be back on your motherfucking knees, even though you never left. You spent 2 years glazing him because you tried to convince people that he won something he didn't win. And now, even with this album, it's like, this changes nothing.
Nah, he didn't win the battle.
No.
Nobody's saying he won the battle.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are.
No.
Yes,
they are.
I'll be like, no.
Yeah, y'all heard me before, I'm sure already. I think lyrically he outperformed him in every facet in every song. But we're not here for that. I'm the war part of it.
Oh, he's still.
Yes.
It's
He won the war. He's gonna win the war.
No, how? What war was there to win?
Well, I mean, there wasn't literally.
So that's just being disingenuous because he know the truth. What war was it? The war of trying to get Drake the fuck out of here. Like I said, if this was between I'm a better rapper than you, lyrically you can't fuck me, legacy you can't fuck with me. Like if that was actually between like the beef, I would understand it. But like they took, well, Kendrick specifically and his fans and people in the 20v1, they took the angle of trying to use takes and narratives that officially end Drake, that officially bury him. They were talking about burying him in a grave. He's a corpse. They saying all these shit that wasn't beyond just I'm better than you at rapping. It was about, no, this nigga is a cancer, which we've heard multiple media people say. He's a cancer to hip hop. He's a bad leader to hip hop. He's led hip hop down the wrong way. He's a culture vulture. So all of those takes were about trying to get him out of here. And that was the war. Can we kill Drake? That was the war. And they lost. In the battle, the first battle, let's just say, like, what is Gettysburg when a nigga snuck up on niggas? What was another one? The Alamo when niggas get snuck up on. I'm trying to think of like battles where like a nigga gets snuck up on and you got us. You caught us slipping. Yeah, the Alamo is a perfect example. You caught us slipping. So you won that battle. But when it came to the war, Mexico got cooked. When it came to the Gettysburg shit, though, actually, America ended up winning. But what I'm more saying is like, just because you might win the initial battle from whatever sneak attack or whatever, like, plan that you developed for that war, don't necessarily mean the war is, for that battle, don't necessarily mean the war is finished. And like I said, the war, if we talk about what was the premise of the war, it was trying to kill Drake. It was trying to take his spot. They're trying to eviscerate his legacy, essentially, too. Because it wasn't even like he don't deserve it no more. It's like he never deserved it. He was always a culture vulture. We should have always examined him differently as a white boy and all this other stuff that they were trying to throw in there. Not black and all these other things. Like, so when you put it on that, like I said, Charlamagne's very aware of that. And he's being very disingenuous because he knows what's up.
We're speaking in metaphors.
So what's the war?
When it's all said and done, he will go down as a much bigger artist.
No, stop.
Is that what people?
Stop.
100%. Like, it's not even close. 100%. The numbers will show it.
Numbers lie.
They lie, but not when they this consistent. Not when they this consistent. So this is something I seen that to get into. Not when they this consistent. GNX, what did they do first week? 319. Streaming equivalent or whatever, we don't really care about that because it's pretty much the same as 319. Let's look at some other context and rankings. This made GNX the third largest streaming week of 2024, the biggest stream week for any R&B and hip hop album, and it ranked first in consumption among major rap albums behind Travis Scott, Tyler the Creator, and damn his previous work. So with all that being said, he had a good week, but it ain't Drake. And that's just one example. But then niggas was like, well, oh, he didn't have a rollout, or he like just started getting like disingenuous as fuck. Like that's the word of the day, disingenuous. Because this is where we get into this bag. Where what is that? Man, I wish GNX had a rollout. The numbers would have been ridiculous. Huh? Nigga, what? It was the biggest year of his life. Biggest year of his life. Biggest moment of his life. Nigga had, well, I can't even say that because technically he didn't even outperform Damn, but he was coming off arguably one of the biggest moments of his life. What does this guy Rose Fat say? Nigga had the biggest beef against the artist, the biggest beef against the biggest artist, a hit with Metro and Future, a whole pop-out concert, announced the Super Bowl halftime show, and Not Like Us was a hit being pushed everywhere. Damn, what else the nigga need? A sex tape. Like, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. It summed it up perfectly. How are you coming off the back of a Super Bowl performance, nigga? Or right, like what was it? Was it? We knew he was gonna perform Super Bowl. Whatever it was, like it was all in the air. Whether it was post Super Bowl or right before Super Bowl, niggas knew that you was dropping. Niggas knew you was doing a Super Bowl when GNX was dropping, or you had already did it. One or the other. I can't remember exactly. But regardless of the fact, you did the pop out. Not Like Us was everywhere. Nigga, you were supposed to be the number one guy. Nothing. Dud. Then we go to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Okay. This is off the heels of Damn, not off the heels because it took forever for the nigga to drop. And with that being said, two amazing reasons for people to want to buy in and anticipate the album and push it up there when it really gets when people get a chance to hear it. You've been gone for 5 years. You're the second biggest artist of our generation. I'll never give him first. I'm just sorry. It's just not impossible. Can't fix my mouth to say it. But you behind a great guy. So let's just be real. Second ain't that bad. In the other areas, it might have been first. But you got Jordan. You got LeBron in front of you. Sorry, brother. This is Wemby we're looking at. So with that being said, you had 5 years. Highly anticipated. Highly waited for. 300. I bring this up to say numbers ain't everything, but when it comes to like the best metrics we're gonna find, when niggas supposed to be washed, like Drake was supposed to be a corpse, and he's washing these numbers. Like you gotta look at like Drake bottom 2 projects to find numbers like this. Anything past mid to above that, he's laughing at these numbers. Laughing at, and that's even post 2020. 2018, laughing at these numbers. Let's talk about this year. He's going to debut 1, 2, and 3, which is already an accomplishment in itself. Iceman 460. That's insane. That's insane in itself. That's insane in itself. That's we can round close to up to 500. If we're going 300, let's just say close to 500 for Drake. Just off Iceman alone. Then you get, what was his other album? Let's around 300, 320 around. So, like, Drake is killing him. Then you throw in Habiti and Made of Honor was all dropped the same week. The nigga damn near did 7. Nigga damn near did 7. After he was supposed to be a corpse. And you want to argue who won the war? This is directly after the beef. This is his first solo album. Just like Kendrick's first solo album. He had all that narrative, all that heat behind him, all that great of a year behind him, and he barely could squirt out a motherfucking 300. Like, honestly, embarrassing. And we talking about who's your GOAT. By impact. If we're really talking about the nitty gritty, like, let's be real. Niggas could say numbers, lying, all that shit, but let's stop it. Let's just stop it. Consistently better. Let's just go from post 2020, consistently better. So you had a chance to try to eclipse him in 2024 because Drake was clearly better than you. You had 5 years to drop niggas. It wasn't a dud, but compared to Drake, you wasn't fucking with him. You wasn't sniffing his numbers. Drake dropped a solo album after you, Mr. Boom, 600. What he do? When was I'm trying to see when Mr. Morale drops. I want to say 2020. That's Gen X. So Mr. Morale drop. Oh, 2022. So this actually dropped before. So you see what Dre did before, and then you get a chance to drop, and you can't even touch it. We move on. Collaborative album. Like, this is like right after the beef. Nigga, Drake hate was even higher. Like, this took a lot of hate off Drake once this album officially dropped. But it had to build on people, grow on people just because he had so much hate and animosity. But these are numbers that were the closest that you're going to get, Kendrick. An R&B album at that. And we already know how hard R&B is to sell. So even with that, 240 is really probably, if we talk about the depreciation of it being an R&B album and how hard it is to sell. Like, if we look at Chris Brown first week versus this nigga's first week, like, that's probably worth 350. I'm just saying, but we're not gonna glaze too much. Let's move on. For All the Dogs, album not too many people was anticipated. I feel like a lot of people didn't feel like they needed after CLB. Nobody was like Holly talking about I need For All the Dogs unless she was like high Drake fans like me. But I'm saying like the public. Then it wasn't received well. Still did 400. Still did well over what Kendrick was able to do. So before beef, Drake was dominating. Then you go into the beef. Like, Kendrick had his moment. But after that, there's no sustenance. It didn't last. It wasn't worth much. It didn't continue. Her loss, 400. This dropped the same year as Mr. Morale. So it's like, when we talk about that type of shit, bro, what is the conversation, man? In fact, we want to talk about this time you argue for law. And we're gonna wrap it up here. Let's pause that. If you want an example of numbers line, this is probably
suggestion. 100 million streams vanished. No one got questions for niggas.
Did that happen? Did Kendrick Lamar lose 100? Or lose 100 million streams? Yes, Kendrick Lamar reportedly had massive numbers of streams removed across platforms like Spotify as part of a sweeping purge targeting artificial or bot-driven streams. While there was online debate and allegations, most notably from Drake, who accused Kendrick of botting his stream numbers, the details of the lost streams stem from specific streaming purges and natural listening trends. Stream purges. During a platform-wide technical cleanup by Spotify, Lamar was reported to have had roughly 235 million streams removed from specific tracks, such as his collaboration with Luther. Other reports and viral community discussions claimed even higher, sweeping reductions in the billions. Natural attrition, much of the perceived loss in his.
So that's what I mean by, if you want to say numbers lie, Charlamagne, those are the numbers that you need to be talking about lying when niggas actually bought it. Them the numbers you need to talk about lying, because anything else, bro, Drake is killing. Even 2024, if you go back and look at what rapper was streaming the most monthly, the only month that Kendrick won, in which I think the battle was in May, the only month that Kendrick was more streamed than Drake was, the month of GNX was dropped November. Then right back to December, Drake went back to being the #1 stream artist that month, and going into 2025, the rest of the year, he was the #1 streaming rapper. So shit like that is like, numbers ain't lying, big dog, unless you want to talk about these specifically.
So Kendrick Lamar has just lost 1 billion streams from Spotify after they did their new bot sweep, where they got rid of all these streaming bots and they only go off of natural, unfabricated numbers now. So here's what we're looking at. So these are the stats for the most streamed rappers on Spotify on a month-by-month basis. Well, it looks like Kendrick was sitting at 1.76 billion. So that's 1,760,000,000 people streaming just on Spotify alone, one app, in a month. Now, after this sweep, just 6 months later, we're looking at brand new updated stats here, and in the course of 6 months, he went down a full billion streams. A billion. Think about that. Not just 10 million, not just 100 million. No, 10x that. Guys, let me know if this is a reach or if there's any stat I'm not really taking into consideration here.
So I would say this. This is my boy D-Fran take with this. A lot of that was post Super Bowl let down. Like, you go back to a certain like level to where you're more, balanced, as far as you're not gonna keep trending too much lower than these numbers. So when he got to 1.7 billion, it's like you expect to lose 20, 30, maybe 40% of that listening after the Super Bowl match is kind of died out. Because if I'm looking at his screenshots where when the 1.7 was screenshotted and posted on Twitter, it said 03/25. So that's around the Super Bowl. That's like a month after the Super Bowl. So even to have 1.7 a month after, it's like you would think the letdown would have started already, but maybe, it takes 6-7 months for that, to lose that 20, 30, 40% over time. But to go all the way back to 700, to lose that full billion, I feel like that speaks either to his music not being good, which I don't want to say that, bro. I feel like if Kendrick got a billion listeners, a billion new listeners, I would think he would at least retain 500 of that, right? Like 50% of that, my bad, right? So it's like, if that was 50%, so that means he would have still been at somewhere like 1.3, 1.4, you know what I mean? Versus going all the way back to 700. That's where it's like shit just don't feel that real. Because either his music is that ass where a billion people decide to listen to Kendrick Lamar post Super Bowl was like, nah, that's just not it. Or something was inflated. Them the only two logical answers. And I don't think Kendrick music is that bad. I don't think no one in their right mind thinks it's that bad. If I asked a normal person, if Kendrick Lamar had, for some reason, got a billion new listeners, how many of that billion you think will retain? How much of that billion you think he will retain over the next year? If they never heard Kendrick, they was just kind of a passive, before that billion, they was kind of a passive listener, not real fans. What would you say they'll, be? I thought it'd be a lot higher, especially with Kendrick, Drake, let's just say Speed, Akai Sinet. I'm thinking certain level artists and streamers and just celebrities like The Rock or Kevin Hart in his prime or somebody like that. If they was to receive 1 billion new fans, nobody would think that superstar retention would be less than 20%, less than 10%. It damn near went negative on how much he retained. And with that being said, man, Drake Ben called this out. Akin had people that had made testimonies about what's been going on behind closed doors. It's niggas that's went missing, that's supposed to be a part of this type of shit that was involved heavily in, what's his name, Kojo and Kendrick camp. But, as more stuff come out, we'll get into it, man. But with that being said, man, y'all like and subscribe, man. Y'all see the grind. I'm here every day. So far, we're going to try to keep it going as long as I can. I'm even recording days before to make sure I have some shit, that day. So we're trying to stay consistent, man. With that being said, all I'm asking for is a sub and a like, man. And maybe some comments too, and maybe even share it to your people. But we ain't, with that being said, man, we out, man. Peace.